They say love is the most beautiful feeling in the world. But sometimes love is just the mask that evil wears. My name is Clara. I'm 27 years old, and if you're listening to this, please, never believe that love can't destroy you. Because I once believed in a man who said he loved me more than his own life. And he sold me. It all started 2 years ago. I was living in Seattle, finishing my degree, lonely but hopeful. One evening, my best friend Mila showed me a dating app she'd been using. She said, "Clara, you're too careful. Just try it. Maybe you'll meet someone good." I laughed it off at first, but later that night, curiosity won. I downloaded the app, filled out my profile, name, hobbies, my favorite books, and put up a picture I almost deleted twice before uploading. Within a few hours, I had messages. Most were typical, boring, empty compliments. But then one stood out. "You look like someone who still believes in good things." The message was from Lucas. He wasn't like the others. He didn't ask for my number right away or send emojis. He wrote like someone who'd lived, who understood loneliness. He said he was from Istanbul, Turkey, running his own business, a trade company. He talked about the view of the Bosphorus, about old coffee shops and books he loved. And I don't know why, but his words made me feel safe. Days turned into weeks. Our conversations stretched from midnight to morning. He was kind, patient, thoughtful. He asked about my dreams, my fears, even my childhood. He'd say things like, "I don't want a perfect woman. Clara, I want a real one, with scars and stories." That line melted me. He started sending small gifts. A book I once mentioned, a necklace with a tiny heart pendant. Every message, every call made me fall deeper. And then, one evening, he said the words every lonely heart wants to hear. "Clara, I think I've found my forever. It's you." After 6 months of talking, he invited me to visit him in Istanbul. I was nervous, but he made everything sound perfect. He said, "I'll take care of everything. You'll stay with me. You'll never be alone again." I told my parents he was just a friend. I didn't want them to worry or judge me. When I landed in Istanbul, Lucas was waiting at the airport. Tall, dressed sharply, holding a bouquet of white lilies. He hugged me like we'd known each other forever. His cologne, his smile, his voice. Everything about him felt real, and within a week, he proposed. He said he didn't want to waste time because he knew I was the one. I said yes. Our wedding was small but magical, a rooftop ceremony with the city lights reflecting off the water. He looked at me like I was the only person in the world. For a while, I really was happy, but after a month, something started to shift. Lucas began spending more time on the phone, always in another room. When I asked, he'd smile and say, "Just work, baby. You don't need to worry." Some nights he came home late, smelling of smoke and alcohol, and he wasn't as gentle anymore. Still, he'd bring gifts, kiss my forehead, and say, "You're my everything." "I'm just busy building our future." I believed him. Because when you love someone, you don't count the red flags. You paint them white. Then one morning, Lucas told me he wanted me to finally see his company, the one he'd always talked about. He said, "I've been waiting for this moment. You'll see where all my hard work goes." I was excited. He arranged a car, said his driver would take me there. He told me to dress nicely. "You're the boss's wife now." I still remember how happy I was that morning. I wore a cream dress, curled my hair, even put on lipstick. I wanted him to be proud. The driver was silent the whole way. The city faded behind us as we drove toward the industrial side of Istanbul. Narrow streets, tall gray buildings, no signs of offices or showrooms. Finally, the car stopped in front of a big iron gate with guards outside. I looked at the driver and asked, "Are you sure this is the right place?" He nodded once without looking at me. My stomach tightened. Inside, the air smelled of smoke and chemicals. Dim lights, bare walls. A woman sat behind a glass counter, typing on an old computer. She looked up and smiled faintly. "Name?" Clara, I said. My husband sent me. Lucas. She nodded, handed me a clipboard with a form written mostly in Turkish. I asked, "What is this?" She said in broken English, "Just permission. For visit. Sign here." I hesitated for a second, but then I thought, maybe it's a security thing. I signed. She took the paper, stood up and pressed a button. A door behind her buzzed open. "Go inside," she said. The hallway was narrow and cold. At the end of it stood a man I had never seen before. Tall, with a thick beard, and eyes that looked like they'd seen too much. He looked at me for a long moment, then said, "Clara." "Welcome," I smiled nervously. "Hi, I'm here to see my husband's company." He let out a low laugh. "Company? Oh no. Lucas doesn't work here anymore." He stepped closer, his voice lowering. "He already got paid. $50,000. You belong to us now." The room began to spin. I felt my knees weaken, my chest tighten. What are you talking about?" I whispered. He smiled. "You'll understand soon enough." And then I heard the door lock behind me. I tried to run, scream, beg, but the man grabbed my arms roughly and pushed me into the room. My hands were still free, but panic had frozen me in place. He leaned closer. "Clara, you signed the permission. You agreed. There's no turning back now." I stumbled, shaking, my heart hammering so loud I thought it would burst. Everything Lucas had promised. Every word, every kiss, every promise of love was a lie. I had been sold. The room was small, dimly lit with cold walls and a single chair. I huddled in the corner, shivering, trying to make sense of what had happened. The man left eventually, locking the door behind him. All night, I cried. I thought of my parents, my life back in Seattle, my freedom, all gone. I thought of Lucas. How could he do this? How could someone you love betray you in such a way? Fear was constant, suffocating. Every noise, footsteps, distant voices, doors opening, made me jump. The next morning, they came for me. 2 men opened the door. No words, no smiles. Just cold orders. They told me to follow. My legs were shaking, but I moved. I didn't want to make them angry. They led me into another room. Bright lights, cameras, people standing behind monitors. I realized where I was. It wasn't a company. It wasn't an office. It was a trap. A place where they made people do things against their will. As they pushed me forward, the truth became impossible to ignore. There were rows of screens playing videos. Posters advertised websites. Women moved in and out of rooms with blank faces. Some sat quietly with hollow eyes. Others whispered to each other, shells of who they once were. A man in a suit walked past and hissed into a phone. "He's asking for fresh content. Send another girl," he said, then snapped the phone shut. It hit me like a punch. This place was an adult production company, producing material for websites. Behind the glossy nameplates were criminals who trafficked girls and sold them for profit. They didn't just make videos here. They were part of a network that bought people, filmed them, and sold those films to the highest bidder. My throat closed. I felt the air go thin. I froze. My voice cracked. "I can't do this. Please let me go." One of them laughed, a dry, heartless sound. "You already signed. You belong here now." They pushed me toward the lights. My heart pounded. My breath caught in my throat. Tears blurred everything. I kept saying no, please no, but my voice was drowned by their shouting. "Look here! Don't cry! Do what you're told!" That moment broke something inside me. I stopped feeling like a person. I was just empty, numb. When it was over, I went back to my small room. I curled up in the corner, unable to move, unable to breathe. I hated myself for trusting Lucas. I hated that I was alive. That night, I didn't sleep. I just stared at the cracked wall, praying for it all to end. A few days passed. On the 3rd day, a young man came to my room. He looked different from the others. Not cruel, not harsh. His eyes weren't empty. He looked at me and I could see pity, sadness, kindness. His name was Jonah. He whispered softly, "Hey, Don't be scared. I know what's happening. I can help you. I didn't understand how he knew. He worked there like the others. But something in him was different. Over the next few days, he helped me quietly. Water when I was thirsty. Food when they tried to ration it. A soft word when I was about to break down. He never touched me inappropriately. He never asked for anything in return. Jonah was my lifeline. One night, when everyone was asleep, he whispered, "Clara, I found a way. You can get out. But you have to trust me completely." My hands trembled, my voice quivered. "Jonah, what if I get caught? What if they kill me?" He shook his head. "They won't. Just stay close to me. I'll get you out. You'll see the sun again," I nodded. For the first time in a week, I felt hope. We waited until the middle of the night. The guards were few, the halls quiet. Jonah led me through a maze of corridors, using a key card he had secretly taken. Every step was tense. Every sound made me jump. My pulse felt like it would explode. Finally, we reached a back exit. Jonah whispered, "Go. Run as fast as you can. Don't look back." We ran through dark streets, alleys slick with rain. I kept my head down, focusing on the sound of my own breath and his footsteps beside me. By dawn, we reached a safe car waiting outside. Jonah drove us straight to the U.S. Embassy in Istanbul. Inside the embassy, I recounted everything. Lucas, the lies, the sale, the abuse, everything. The officers listened, calm but serious. "Madam, what happened is a crime. We'll handle the legal process. You can go home now." I held Jonah's hand as they issued my new passport. The first rays of sun fell across my face and I cried. Not just relief, but a strange mix of sorrow, anger, and disbelief. "Jonah, I don't even know how to thank you." He smiled quietly. "You don't need to. Just promise me, live, survive. That's enough." Back in Seattle, I slowly began to rebuild my life. Every night I thought of Jonah, the friend who risked everything to save me. He didn't try to replace Lucas. He didn't ask for love. He only offered human kindness in the darkest hour. Months later, I called him. "Jonah, I survived. Thanks to you." And he simply said, "Clara, that's all that matters. I'm proud of you. No romance, no fairy tale ending. Just survival. Just gratitude. Just the knowledge that even in darkness, a single person's courage can bring someone back to the light." If you are in an online relationship or thinking of trusting someone blindly, please be careful. Not everyone is what they seem. Love can be a mask. And sometimes your lifeline is not a lover. It's a friend who refuses to let you be destroyed. Take care.